राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओ श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। 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 ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। 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 ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। 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 ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। 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 ओ श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओ श्री राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय 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 राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। 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 श्री राम जय 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 राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम 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 ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम 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 ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय 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 राम जय जय राम पापा का पीछे 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 जय जय राम हो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय 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 राम जय जय राम ओम 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 श्री राम जय राम वेल्लमंड राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. 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 Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai. So when we are repeating the name of God, yes, when we are repeating the name of God,
One second. Yes, sir.
yes,
Able to hear?
right. Okay. When we are repeating the name of God, we must be conscious that we are repeating the name of one who is within us, who is our true being and existence. We have been hearing the words of Papa very often. Now we are asking ourselves whether we have made any effort on these directions. Initially, he made us to enjoy soothing tunes, that settles our agitative mind. But immediately after the chanting is over, we are not experiencing the same joy. So that stage we should be conscious of. So now Papa says that while chanting the name, we should be conscious that we are repeating the name of one who is within us, who is our true being and existence. In another article he says, this life is a rare opportunity for attaining true, real, ever-existent bliss and peace. Therefore, go within. Therefore, go within yourself in a resolute spirit of adventure and discover the immortal source of your being. So Nama chanting should help us in our inward journey. We should be very, very clear about it. No? Intellectually, we will first understand and then try. Otherwise, it will go on like this. Our idea is to get a glimpse of His presence within. So when we close our eyes and chant in a particular melodious, soothing tune, sattvic tune, the watching goes on inwardly. And one will start experiencing a blissful moment at least. Only this effort will make us clearer and clearer, and then it will help us in understanding the rest of the approach to spirituality. Because here in this ashram, the mainstay is Ramnam chanting. We all derive some joy, but we are asking ourselves, what happens after the Nama chanting is over? The joy that we felt at the time of chanting, are we in a position to sustain? In the majority, in almost all cases we find, the moment we think about the Ramnam session, we get joy. Suppose certain devotees, when they chant with a devotional fervor, it touches and kindles, no doubt. And the moment we remember that, the joy again, it comes out. But in our outer behavior, whether we have been able to hold on to the peace, please think about this. And the main hurdle is the me and mine. So in the second chapter, renunciation, or the book In Quest of God, we find this has been highlighted. Though we may be involving ourselves in various spiritual disciplines with earnestness, sincerity, still we find there is a lot of gap. That means the experience that we have during the period of observing those disciplines and the period when we are not doing it. We are involved in various other activities. So this thought, this inward inquiry will lead us to know that immediately after that, the me and mine comes to us in different shapes, denying us the opportunity to sustain the joy which we got at the time of remembering Him through chanting. Please think about it. So the me and mine plays a very important role. So that is why when he elaborately discussed about the preparatory measures in the first chapter, he highlights the main stumbling block, roadblock in our spiritual journey is this me and mine. The moment we hear the word renunciation, what comes is the vairagya, leaving everything and going away, sannyasa, like all those things. No. That is not what Papa exactly means by this word. renunciation of me and mine. Because in the preparatory steps, he made an important point that the end is the sense of possession and relationship was vanishing. Desire for the enjoyment of worldly things were fast falling off. Consideration of me and mine was also wearing out. That is being highlighted here. How do we do that? He has given us a clue. That become totally subservient to him, becoming aware that but for him we are. He says, now from the narrow pond of worldly life, Ram had lifted up his slave to throw him into the extensive ocean of a universal life. So individual life, universal life. Individual life means I start only from my level. Kindly think about it. This is a very, very important point in our spiritual journey. Everything we start from our level. Our level means the body, the mind, intellect, and especially the mind, it comes out with its own judgment, its own concepts, its preferences, its priorities, likes, dislikes, preconceived notions. All these things come unknowingly. I don't have to struggle to bring it. It comes automatically, the moment the session is over. Suppose we are attending a Ramnam session, 11:30 to 12:15. Initially, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, the mind may go here and there. And finally, when we attune ourselves to the tune, when no other dissimilar thoughts are harassing us, slowly, the serene background wells up. Though we repeat the name, an inexplicable joy, an inexplicable feeling of pleasantness that we experience. Immediately after the program is over. Even during that program also this fellow will come. Suppose the volume gets lowered or heightened, then immediately we say, or something, somebody comes to the hall, there will be a slight disturbance here and there. Then also we should know why, what is happening. And then after the program is over, we come out and say, today's Ramnam was brilliant, first class. It is all honest feeling, it is not a lip level feeling, it's an honest feeling. But then what happened? Why is it that we are not able to retain that? Suppose when we mentally chant, we should also be able to retain, no? So here comes Papa's this word, Therefore go within yourself in a resolute spirit of adventure, not wavering. There should be a commitment on my part. I must be able to hold on to the experience which I had, which he provided during the chanting session or bhajan session. Another way is to find out what exactly was my experience, This is all an inward journey. So along with the preparatory step, knowing that the me and mine was slowly wearing out, it has to be concretized, stabilized. Otherwise, it will come and go again. So here, Papa was prompted from within to take this bold step. It was very clear, from the individual life to the universal life. That is the only way by which the me and mine can be, erased. Think in terms of universal, no? He says elsewhere, no? Not in terms of individual. How to make it a reality, each one has to find out. Me to we. Me to we should replace me to me, no? It's the toughest job. Uphill task. Because during that period, we are slightly freeing ourselves from the clutches of me and mine. Suppose we are hearing a wonderful bhajan, a wonderful music, or wonderful discourse. Something like that. What happens then? We say it was wonderful. It was wonderful because the me and mine has temporarily withdrawn. That is why we find that joy. We become one with the program, no? When we become one with the program, the sense of individuality is not limiting us. So, Papa's first sentence in the second chapter is to identify this individual life and the universal life. So now from the narrow pond of a worldly life, Ram had lifted up his slave to throw him into the extensive ocean of a universal life. But to swim in the wide ocean, Ram knew Ramdas wanted strength and courage, for gaining which Ram intended to make his ignorant and untrained slave to pass through a course of severe discipline, and this under his direct guidance and support. Understanding the ideal is one thing. Understanding the technique by which or the methodology by which we can actualize the ideal, that is next thing. Second thing is we should make a beginning, somewhere to actualize those. In that stage, probably many of us have not applied our mind deeply. The first two, we are almost now clear. The goal to be scaled as well as the methodology to be employed. But have we started the first step? Just like Papa did, he was prompted to take that step. Untrained self, but to swim in the wide ocean, leaving the me and mine and to swim in the wide ocean. Ram knew Ramdas wanted strength and courage. So many challenges will be there, For gaining which Ram intended to make his ignorant and untrained slave to pass through a course of severe discipline, and this under his direct guidance and support. As we were coming to the Satsang hall, one devotee expressed, see, when we hear all these papas, what a simple life he was leading. For example, in food. And what are we getting here? Every third day you get payasam. Every day almost you get sweets. and comfortable food, 3 times. Comfortable food. Or we should say more than comfortable. How do we expect to understand the self-denial when we are ourselves unknowingly accepting everything? It doesn't mean ashram can deny anything to anybody. And we were also sharing, one day it so happened these thoughts were coming, so we once told Swamiji, why not we have kanji for 3-4 days in a week? One kanji, one dish. Immediately, the Swamiji said yes. Swamiji will always say yes. But second day there was an explosion. All these years we have not been taking kanji. Why this kanji? So it was reported to Swamiji. Swamiji said, revert back to the usual. Only one day we did. Because at that time we forget, okay, at least 1 day or 2 days we will have some self-denial. At least nowadays on Samadhi days we have stopped this payasam business, Okay, one aspect. Another aspect is there, that people who come, they bring love offerings, sweets or something. Or when they see somebody offering to somebody, they are also motivated to give. To them it may be once in a year. But here every day somebody will bring, So the beneficiaries or the recipients, they get it every day. Whereas the giver is only doing it once in a while. So that is why Swamiji said, this is also all right, that is also all right. Those who would like to deny, they can make their own, Nobody will compel that you should go and take this. So here comes the strength and courage. When we read strength and courage, we remembered all these things. Every time we may unknowingly slip into this individual level. Yesterday we talked about that palate, Suppose the next man gets payasam or any sweet, kheera or anything like that. We are checking up whether we are in a position to say, no, today I will not have. It's a test God is giving us. So my experiment need not be imposed on all, but at the same time I should be able to impose, So this is not in our hands. So we have to seek his intervention. So he says, Ram wanted strength and courage. So we all need strength and courage to withstand this. For gaining which Ram intended to make his ignorant and untrained slave to pass through a course of severe discipline. And this under his direct guidance and support. That means the communication is there always. We are not seeking guidance from outside. He is guiding us from within. We must be conscious of this fact. And then, next step. So one night, while engaged in drinking in the sweetness of his name, Ramdas was made to think in the following strain. This is also a very, very important portion in sadhaka's life. O Ram, we are addressing to the power, because of which we are now talking. O Ram, when thy slave finds thee at once so powerful and so loving, and that he who trusts thee can be sure of true peace and happiness, why should he not throw himself entirely on thy mercy, which can be possible only by giving up everything he called mine? Thou art all in all to thy slave. Thou art the sole protector in the world. Men are deluded when they declare, I do this, I do that, this is mine, that is mine. All, O Ram, is thine, and all things are done by thee alone. Thy slave's one prayer to thee is to take him under thy complete guidance and remove his I-ness. This prayer was heard. Ramdas's heart heaved a deep sigh. So hazy desire to renounce all and wander over the earth in the garb of a mendicant in quest of Ram wafted over his mind. So we don't have to blame the world. Why this is coming? Not now.
Prayer was heard in how do you know the prayer is heard?
We have not prayed. If we have prayed, it will be heard. And good that you asked this. Prayer should be in our own language, you know. If we are repeating somebody's words, it is not our original prayer. When we talk to our mother, Papa says, we talk in our own language and place her our troubles. Similarly, if we open ourselves unto God and appeal to Him, He is bound to fulfill our prayer. So that means we must talk in our own language. That means what? It is not that, we repeat universal prayer, we repeat this prayer, that prayer. The universal prayer should become my prayer. It was composed by beloved Papa, no doubt, and he gave it to all of us so that it will be a source of inspiration. But we have found now blunt truth, which I may not be able to accept it for myself. That even after repeating it for 60 years or more than that, we have not one word in this we have not made a reality. What is that third sentence? O Lord of the universe, O Creator, Protector, Destroyer of the worlds, I come in all humility to thy holy feet and surrender myself entirely to thee. How many years you have been repeating it? Entirely to thee. So why so? Not that we don't want to. We don't want to be dishonest to our Guru. We have reverence for him. He is God to us. We have 100% faith and trust in him. But with all that, we are repeating his name, his prayer, but it is not going, percolating into my thought, word and deed. So suddenly I realize that I have not converted into my prayer. My mind always says it is Papa's prayer. So these words, what he uttered, O Ram, when thy slave finds thee at once so powerful and so loving, and he who trusts thee can be sure of true peace and happiness, why should he not throw himself entirely on thy mercy, which can be possible only by giving up everything he called mine. Thou art all in all to thy slave. This is his language, Papa is not repeating anybody's prayer. Thou art all in all to thy slave. Thou art the sole protector in the world. Men are deluded when they declare, I do this, I do that, this is mine, that is mine. All, O Ram, is thine. All things are done by thee alone. Thy slave's one prayer to thee is to take him under thy complete guidance. Complete guidance, and remove his I-ness. This prayer was heard. So now we are praying to him. Why have you not made me known this all these years, Okay, if you think I was not mature enough to understand all these things, you delayed it. Now having touched and kindled in us, why not from today? Don't bother about what had happened. Bygones are bygones, At least from today onwards, why don't you please stop this hide and seek business and make me feel that I am purely under your guidance by removing or erasing whenever my mind or intellect comes with any other thought, separating you from the thought. That means any thought that arises, it is attributed to him. So the moment I feel this is my thought, I have unknowingly separated myself from him. So that type of prayer he prayed. And then, so the preparatory measure facilitated to have the proper ambience for these thoughts to well up. And in our case, when we get enthused, that enthusiasm will be there for a short time. And afterwards, our mind goes on with the preoccupation it has. So here, Papa is giving us, you must have the boldness to take the plunge. A hazy desire to renounce all and wander over the earth in the garb of a mendicant in quest of Ram, wafted over his mind. Now Ram prompted him to open at random the book, Light of Asia. Now, when this thought came, still the struggle is going on inside. Whether it has come out just like, impulsive thought. Whether it is authenticated by realized souls. So he wanted to check up. So that is why he took the 3 books, Light of Asia, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and New Testament. To authenticate, that gives him the fixed resolve. It is not a product of a thought, because that it can be erroneous. At the moment you are fired with something, whether it has got the stamp of approval from the evolved souls. So the three quotations from these three books that enabled him to get stabilized. And the next step is the plunging, the great plunge. And here also, following, after reading this, we cannot follow what Papa did. All that we can follow is to somehow pray to him deeply to take us under his guidance and remove the I-ness. Then we don't have to plan, no? Whether I should leave everything and go. Again, I am coming there. I am there. I am not leaving to the indwelling reality. In his case, he left it to the indwelling reality. The indwelling reality guided him to take that plunge. It need not be the same plunge for everybody. It can be in a different way. So we should not jump into the conclusion that this is what is to be done. No. Again, that means, we are following somebody or we are following the thought. We are not following him. We don't know whether we have made it clear. It is so subtle. The prayer is, take me under thy guidance. Thy slave's one prayer to thee is to take him under thy complete guidance and remove his I-ness. That is the part we have to. Then rest of the things, then we don't have to plan, no? Are we clear about this?
Yes, very clear, sir.
This is very important. Otherwise, we may think we have to follow what is written in this book. In the second chapter itself, he gives us this clear-cut. Ram is giving us the clear-cut guidance to his devotees. You entrust it to me, then rest of the things I will take care. He knew, that is why he said his prayer was heard. So if we stop at this, all preparatory measures, everything is, we have intellectually understood, and then now we knew the hurdle. So we are now trying, with the help of Ramnam, to hand ourselves over. How do we know that? So behind every thought, every word, there should be a subtle awareness that it is he who is prompting us. Not at the grosser level, subtle level. So while chanting Ramnam, this prayer should go intensely. Just like you have prompted me to chant your name, you kindly make me aware that you are behind every prompting that the mind gets. It is from you. So first we start with Ramnam chanting with the right perspective. What is the right perspective? When we are repeating the name, we must be conscious that we are repeating the name of one who is within us, who is our true being and existence. We must keep this central fact in our mind when taking his name. Then the practice will gradually make us aware of his existence within us. At the beginning, we are not aware of this, but we intellectually accept the idea that God dwells within us and we take his name. The association with him is there mentally, and it grows into an experience when we actually feel his presence by constantly hammering into the mind that God whom we aspire to see is within us, and that the name we repeat is His name. So, by developing the right perspective while chanting, we are seeking His intervention to make us aware that He is behind, He is guiding us, He is leading us. And by that way, we may be able to reduce the dominance of me and mine. Second chapter is very, 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 very important. Then only we will know that the prayer has been heard. If we repeat somebody's word, we will never have the feeling that it is heard. But if it becomes original, God is prompting. Original means what? God is prompting us to pray to Him. And then He will make us know that it is heard. That is why later on we find every now and then Papa resorts to solitude. You remember? Not once or twice. Whenever there is an opportunity, he goes for the solitude. Because he is in direct touch with the Jagat, outer world. To ensure that he got riveted in this, in this ideal, God facilitated him to have periodical solitude. Because solitude alone can ensure or guarantee a successful inward journey. Nobody is there to talk, Because the moment we talk to somebody, we will share our experience, then so many, all outward. If we see somebody, inward journey will not be there. So for inward journey, it is a must. Not that throughout our waking state we have to be in inward journey. But inward journey, whenever we take to, though it may be for a short time, it must be intense, undisturbed. Please think about all these things. Second chapter. Before he took the final plunge, now making us to go through it again and again and again, previously he must have read these books. That is not the right word of expression. Previously, God made him to go through all these books. God prepared the background, ambience. And then at that particular time, he makes him to remember. It is not that he went to the shelf and got the book, this particular one. He must have read it, assimilated it. At that time it was an intellectual exercise probably, but something in that had attracted him, or God made him to read it with that mental background, where it gets totally assimilated or absorbed. And at this appropriate time, when God made him to know, you check up whether it is your own intellect has pointed out these words, or whether it has got the stamp approval of those who have realized me, then immediately, he remembers, yeah, correct, you made me to go through the light of Asia. You made me to go through Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the New Testament. And then suddenly, we got the approval. Then that enabled him to take the final plunge.
So, Swamiji, non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication with God.
This is all inward, no? It is not verbal. It is an experiential realm. But for the sake of all of us, God made him to put this. An inner dialogue was going on, and he was enabled to put it in writing. There was no verbal this thing. There is no person, no. O Ram, again we will read from the first line. Now from the narrow pond of a worldly life, Ram had lifted up his slave to throw him into the extensive ocean of a universal life. But to swim in the wide ocean, Ram knew Ramdas wanted strength and courage, for gaining which Ram intended to make his ignorant and untrained slave to pass through a course of severe discipline, and this under his direct guidance and support. That word, direct. You don't have to go anywhere, no? I am guiding you, that feeling. So one night, while engaged in drinking in the sweetness of his name, while Nama chanting is going on, this is come. So the inward journey goes on along with the Nama chanting. This is another clue, no? Inward journey is going on along with Nama chanting. That is why he said, you are chanting the name of one. It grows into an experience when we actually feel his presence by constantly hammering into the mind that God whom we aspire to see is within us, and that the name we repeat is his name. While the name we repeat now is his name. So while chanting, he gives us a clue, not merely chanting, please make us to realize that we are chanting the name of you who is within me, who is behind this chanting. Why don't you please make me aware? Let not the mind be satisfied with, comments like it was beautiful, this and that. And let me, the beauty of it, the bliss of it, the joy of it can come only when I become one with you. That I am chanting the name of one who is within me and who is making me to chant. We have to train our mind. Part of the mind will be chanting, part of the mind will be engaged in this.
It is from guidance from within to the self within.
Guidance from within.
Guidance from within. Guidance from within. Yeah.
Due to surrender, guidance.
How do we do that? Each one can develop.
Yes.
There is no fixed norm. Somehow we should become aware that even these words are coming because he wanted us to share these words. It is not that after this program, no. Now and here we should try,
Yes.
We may fail, but let there be an earnest effort on our part now and here. So one thing is made clear here, that the prayer should be in our own language. That means it should become original.
Swamiji, prayer and faith cannot be seen but can be felt only.
Prayer and faith cannot be seen, can be felt.
Correct. But so far, when we say prayer, immediately our mind will come. We have also printed a small pamphlet. All prayers are there in this. It is relevant to know that the mind should be trained to pray like this. Unfortunately, we started repeating the prayer, but then we thought, there is a joy in it, that prayer whenever we remember, but actualizing it has not taken place. That we have not understood also. Adorable presence, thou who art within and without. But we have to stop there, Within and without. If that is instrumental in making us to go within, it has served its purpose. Okay, for 2 years together we have been reading, it's all right. At least we have started enjoying it. Now a stage has come. No, we will not stop with that. We will try to go within. Adorable presence, that very word. Adorable presence. You are the holy of the holiest, the most revered. So, adorable presence, thou who art within and without, above and below and all around, thou who art, so from the universal level. Okay. Then, individually also you are here. That I did not know. Eye of the eye, ear of the ear. We have to stop there, How is it that you are making me to see? How do I feel that I am seeing? How do I feel that I am hearing? What are those words? Eye of the eye, ear of the ear, heart of the heart. Nobody applies their mind, Mind of the mind, zero, no idea. The
breath of our breath.
Breath of our breath. Okay, forget about all this. This is something, a reality, Breath of our breath. Life of our life. Soul of our souls. How many times he makes us to think about it, So every prayer, now we have understood, the mere repetition, parrot-like repetition, ritualistic form of repetition, it has some relevance, no doubt, but for a deep voyage, within, that is not enough. It has given us a clue now. All these prayers. When we read Papa's prayer, suppose we repeat the same word, after 2 days it will be boredom. O Ram. But when we repeat, immediately we also say, suppose I am, the sense of individuality is pleading before the substratum. O Ram, when thy slave finds thee at once so powerful. So we have to feel that it's powerful, not reading. When thy slave finds thee at once so powerful and so loving, that means you are the power behind it, behind my thinking, behind my feeling that I am. That I must have some glimpse of it, though not a permanent experience. Thy slave finds thee at once so powerful and so loving that he who trusts thee can be sure of true peace and happiness, why should he not throw himself entirely on thy mercy, which can be possible only by giving up everything he called mine? Thou art all in all to thy slave. These are his prayer, no, original prayer. Original prayer. Thou art all in all to thy slave. Thou art the sole protector in the world. Men are deluded when they declare, I do this, I do that, this is mine, that is mine. All, O Ram, is thine. All things are done by thee alone. Thy slave's one prayer to thee is to take him under thy complete guidance and remove his I-ness.
Swamiji, that is just buying a ticket and coming here, I start feeling that I have booked the ticket, I'm going to ask.
Huh?
By booking the ticket and coming here, buying a ticket, booking here.
It is not like coming from Bombay to here, inward journey.
Correct.
It has been planned by him, that is why I am able to come. That is the kind of feeling.
No, nothing wrong, Planned, not planned by me.
He made me.
He facilitated me to come all the way from Bombay, and he made all arrangements. We keep on telling this, The moment we say we have done the booking, no. Because all these years our mind is trained on those lines. So we can't be insincere or untrue to the mind. So we allow the mind to say, okay, you have done the booking. But deep within, or the subtle awareness is there. God made me to do this. God is behind, God in the form of my life force, in the form of awareness, in the form of consciousness. He gave me the prompting to come, and he arranged everything through his various creations. This, we need not tom-tom. We need not say this to anybody, but we should feel in ours, within ourselves. Because that is the truth. So even from small, we try. That is how we can. We cannot, in one go, we cannot reach. Because the mind has been trained to think in terms of me and mine only. You will say, I went to the laptop or mobile, checked out whether the seats are available on a particular date, whether this particular class is there, and then finally booked the ticket. So this is how normally we have been carrying on with all our activities. So we cannot change it. Just because we read this, we cannot change it. But we are trying to introduce another dimension. The dimension is what we try to get it through our chanting. So while we chant, we suppose we keep on hammering, that we are chanting the name of one who is within me, who is making me to chant. So leave all other things, at least chanting we try to attribute to him. When that practice slowly takes place, we will be able to extend it. Oh, it was he who made me to book the ticket. It was he who gave the feeling that I should go to ashram. Then rest of the things he did it through many of his creation, objects as well as individuals. We repeat, we need not tom-tom this. It is purely an inner experience, an inner feeling. We try to associate ourselves with him. How it should be done, the guidance will come from within. So the second chapter gives us a wonderful revelation that the prayer should become original, then only it will be heard. clarity on the goal to be scaled must be there. Methodology should be clear. Then the subservience, to seek guidance. These three things he has already given. Now the next step, please provide me through an original prayer, in whatever way we feel like. Original prayer. And here Papa assures us it will be heard. And then by making a reference to these three books, or the three words of wisdom of these masters, he gives us a hint that while go through deeply, not at the superficial level. So that has been facilitated by him. At the right time, it will give you the guidance. Guidance because it is not verbal, as somebody pointed out. Nobody will come forward and say. Again, it is an intuitive feeling. So before that, God facilitates us to go through the words of wisdom. And when we actually contemplate deeply upon it, he preserves it in our memory file, and at the appropriate time, he touches and opens the file and gives, yes, you are on the right path, don't worry. By bringing this file up, because if it has to be memorized, you and I will know, that memory is possible only when we attentively, with total Shraddha, we go through it, assimilate it, not simply reading. We go deeper into it. Then it gets stamped in our heart in the form of memory. And now we know that he facilitated us to go through that. For every now and then you are taking the reference, We may be handling so many things, but still we need some reference every now and then. Because we are in the midst of so many other dealings. So there is a likelihood that whatever we say, it has been authenticated. So every now and then, that is why we have a library. If you go to, in good old days, of course, nowadays it's not necessary because science and technology is helping us not to have anything in paper. But immediately we go, Control C and Control F, we are immediately we know where it is. But we should know what to check. That this laptop will not give us. So when we go through it, when he facilitated us to go through it intensely and kept it in the memory, every now and then when we want that, we immediately go and he says, take it out, come on. So while going through everything, we should know that he facilitates. So when he facilitates, I should do it with Purna Shraddha.
Yes.
Nothing at the superficial level. So these are all the things that he made us to dwell upon it seriously before he took the final plunge, which goes under the name renunciation. Tomorrow is Sunday. No, tomorrow is Saturday. Tomorrow let us see what next adoption of sannyas. If any other point comes, you can just intervene and say, because the moment we start sharing, it doesn't stop in between. Helpless. But we give you the power of attorney to intervene. Stop. Okay?
I'm waiting for that.
Power of attorney is given to everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Fullest freedom. Okay. So, rest assured, be sure, He is leading us, He is guiding us. He is as if, He is holding our hand and taking us from stage to stage. 100%, 100%. Hari Om.
Swamiji, many times நம்ம slip ஆயிடும் Swamiji.
Slip.
Natural.
We slip. And how to, அதெல்லாம்
We have to complain to Him. Again, we are seeking an answer from outside. No. We have to seek answer from within.
அவரெங்கே கேட்கணும்.
அவர்கிட்டே கேட்கணும். ஆமாம். அப்படி கேட்டு பழக்கம் இல்லாததுனால நமக்கு இப்படி தோணுறது மட்டும்தான். கேட்டு பழக்கம் இல்லையே, அவர்கிட்ட ஒண்டியாக உட்காந்து பேசுறது நமக்கு பழக்கம் வந்துட்டியே. அவர்கிட்ட பேசணும், பேசிக்கிண்டே இருக்கணும். ஹரியோ. ஓம் ஸ்ரீராம் ஜெய் ராம் ஜெய் ராம ஓம் ஸ்ரீராம் ஜெய் ராம் ஜெய் ராம ஓம். Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Om. 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Om.